Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's talk about Dr. Heavenly. She had a lot to say as usual. She talked about Phaedra in a recent interview. She did also talk about Simone and Simone's dress. She clearly did not like that dress. I don't blame her. It was ill-fitting. Now, Heavenly, I didn't really like your outfit either. I don't know what was going on with the choker. It looks like you were being choked and it was not cute. So I feel like it's the situation of the pot calling the kettle black. But I will say, Heavenly did look nicer than Simone looked. I'll give her that. She did also address the beef between Quad and Simone, and she also talked about sweet tea. So I want to get into all of it, but before I do that, please smash that like button as you come in, smash that subscribe button if you have not subscribed at all, and turn on all your notifications if you haven't done so already. Now, let's get into it. So Heavenly had an interview with the virtual Reali-Tea, and she was asked to basically play a game. Now, let's fast forward to that. She started talking about Phaedra. So they were trying to figure out, like, what did she think of Phaedra deciding not to show up to the reunion? And Heavenly was kind of making it seem that she felt like Phaedra was scared of them and that Phaedra said a lot of derogatory things about them, and she decided not to show up at the reunion. She then said she doesn't know if it's cowardice or if it's clever. I would say it's clever. She already knows what time it is. She knows that you guys are just going to be out here all together coming for her. And she's just like, I'm not even going to give you guys that moment because that is probably what will add to a lot of the views on Married to Medicine. So she's like, yeah, nah, I'm not paying y'all dust. I'm not giving you guys anything. And to think, even if she wasn't there, there was still conversations about her. So she is right. She brought something. Now, I will be honest, in terms of what she brought to the show itself, I think she did bring some people with her, but I don't necessarily think the show was particularly for her. This is just my opinion on that. Now, I do think her saying, oh, Phaedra is a great girl and she doesn't care about what was said. I'm like, girl, you did. Because you were out here in the YouTube streets constantly talking about Phaedra for a while. Now that she gave you her ass to kiss and the public are not really feeling the Mean Girl Squad, now you want to be like, yeah, I don't really care about that. She's a great girl. Like, piss off. I feel like one thing I've noticed about Heavenly, and I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail, is she blows wherever the wind blows. If she feels like the public is fighting or in support of someone in particular, then she rides for them. If she feels like the public are coming for them, then she's like, oh, yes, she is right on that because the public do not like that person. Like, for instance, when people had such an outrage about what they did to Quad, all of a sudden she changed her tune and now Quad is her bestie. But let's say if we flip that to maybe potentially people not really seeing it for Sweet Tea or Contessa, then she doesn't really care because she's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going in on these people because the public do not see it for them. Now, if we flip it, because think about it, when Sweet Tea was still like a lot of people liked her and a lot of people weren't coming for her, not this season, the season before, she was like buddies with Sweet Tea. Then fast forward now to when people are not necessarily feeling Sweet Tea now she is part of the people that are really coming for Sweet Tea. So I think she does things, see how the audience reacts to it. And if the audience reacts badly to what she does, then she switches it up and she cleans it up. If the audience reacts nicely to it, she keeps on going. That's what I've noticed. And by the way, everything I say in this video is my opinion for entertainment purposes only. So don't take it so seriously like I am telling you the truth about someone. This is my perspective on what I am seeing. Okay? Now, let's talk about what she said about Dr. Simone. She talked about how Dr. Simone is very sensitive and she didn't like the comments about her outfit. My thing with you, Heavenly, is there are ways to say things. Like, I've said things over here where I talk about people's outfits, but I don't go gutter with it. I just say what I feel. Okay, it's not as good, it's not nice, this cut. I stick to the outfit. The thing about Heavenly is Heavenly likes to go in on people, and then when people see it and they're upset, she always acts like, oh, they're being too sensitive. What did I really say? Like, there are no boundaries of what is acceptable. That's why she always feels like her behavior is acceptable when in fact it is not. To be honest, I couldn't have a friend like Heavenly, because I would be so pissed off if my friend is out here talking smack about me on their YouTube channel. Now, if we're both public figures and they're like, oh yeah, I didn't like the outfit, you don't have to like my outfits, that's cool. But when you start to go in on me, or you make it seem like I work hard for production, or I'm a production's pet or something like that, I would be irritated about that, especially if I feel like that is not the reality of it. So you cannot say somebody is being sensitive when you are so-called friends with the person and you speak of them in that way. Now, let's be clear, Simone. Heavenly was friends with Contessa and dogged that woman and her husband out on her YouTube channel. So what makes you think that you will be exempt? Let's call a spade a spade. Of course, there is no exemption for you. This is who she is. So proceed at your own risk. The only person she doesn't really talk about in that way is Jackie. Because she knows. Remember when Jackie told her that she was looking like a busted can of biscuits? I don't think she forgot that. And she knows that Jackie is going to be cute and read her for filth. So she does not want that smoke with Jackie. So no, she does not bring Jackie into the shenanigans, if you have noticed. Plus, I think there is a level of respect there that she has for Jackie. She almost thinks like Jackie is the high of the high when it comes to the doctors in Atlanta. This is my opinion. This is from me outside looking in. So she has that level of respect and reverence for Jackie that she doesn't have for Simone or any of the other people on the show. Now, just to add insult to the injury, she starts talking about she can imagine Cecil having sex with Simone and that it's just going to be plain like vanilla. I'm like, girl, why are you talking about this woman's sex life? Like, mind your business. These are the kind of things that friends should not really be out here at interviews saying. And that's why Simone is pissed. So Simone has a lot of faults, but I can understand if her friend is just out here throwing jabs and she doesn't know what she's going to get. Of course she's going to be upset. So Heavenly, I don't know what delusion land you live in where you think it's okay to say certain things about your friends just because you want the applause of people that don't know you. She even said like she doesn't like to make Simone upset, and that most of the times when she says things about Simone, she's just playing and she doesn't know why a lot of these things bother her. Now, first of all, let's be clear. You don't be out here playing on Jackie's name like that. You do that with Simone. So I do not think that you genuinely see Simone as your friend that you have respect and reverence for. You don't put her in the same category as you put Jackie in. And that much is clear. So let's move on to what she said about Sweet Tea and Dr. G. She said she feels like Sweet Tea is a sweet girl and that she would flourish somewhere else, just not in the group. My thing is this: if you think that girl is a sweet girl, why couldn't you take her under your wing? Why did you guys have to be mean to her and continue to come at her in that way? You guys could have thought, okay, she's a sweet girl. Let's take things easy with her. We can't come at her the way we come at other people. That's why Phaedra was calling you all mean girls, because of the way you guys treat all these newbies that come to the group, especially the ones you think that you can pick on, like Sweet Tea. Now, I do think that Sweet Tea has a lot of work if she wants to really fit within this group. I think Sweet Tea, yes, defend yourself, but then you need to do it in a way that does not come across as you're rattled or you're unraveling right before these people's eyes, okay? Like, you see how you can be classy with it and be fast with it and have your reads on lock? That's what Sweet Tea needs to do. I actually think she has a lot of potential, but it's like the group are trying to come against her, especially because at some point she was becoming a fan favorite. I really think that she needs to peel it back a lot more, be less emotional, less reactive. And you see how Brit was coming at Kenya more last episode on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Kenya was quick with the reads, called her a peasant, but was calm with it, did not seem rattled, picked up her stuff and left. That's the kind of energy Sweet Tea needs to bring. If not, they would run her out. I think the fact that she comes across very emotional is not helping the audience connect with her, because they feel like when she responds to these women, she goes too far. But if she was a lot calmer in her delivery, she's going to look less unraveled, and people will be like, yeah, she's paying them dust and reading them for filth. And that's what I think Sweet Tea needs to get to, in my opinion. Now, she says she feels like Sweet Tea is lashing out because it's a difficult situation. Her husband, it's like she's getting it from everywhere, and her husband. Now, I will say, I don't necessarily think Sweet Tea is lashing out. It feels like all of the things that she has done has been provoked by some of these people. Now, do I think that there's a better way to handle it? Absolutely. But I don't think that she is lashing out. Now, I will say I didn't like the way her husband was speaking to her in that room. The audio just made it obvious that, there is a level of disparity where for me personally, it sounds like he needs to get some counseling, because he can't be speaking to his wife like that. But if she's okay with it, then who are we to be speaking on it? It's funny because I feel like Heavenly is so quick to speak on everyone's husband but hers, right? Like, now she's saying, oh yeah, if a man is talking to my daughter like that, I would be concerned. I get it. But at the same time, it ain't none of your business. So you are not friends with Sweet Tea. You cannot go to her and tell her, how to manage that situation. You're not involved in all of that. So my thing would be, I would say, mind your business, mind the business that pays you. Well, she could say talking about these people is a business that pays her, and she will be right. So I guess that's that. She also discussed the whole fight between Quad and Simone. She was basically saying that she's not going to choose sides. She loves them both and she's friends with both of them. And she hopes that they can squash it. But she feels like Simone can hold a grudge for a very, very long time. I think we can all see that. She's probably still holding a grudge right now. It must be difficult holding a grudge for that long, girl. Like, let it go, so that you can have peace and stop shouting all the time. She did also touch on the whole Toya speaking on the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast, and that when she apologized on behalf of the cast, she said that she didn't reach out to Toya at the time before she apologized, but she did text her after she apologized and also told her to apologize. Now, I think it's a bit rich coming from you, Heavenly, considering all you do is talk about all other people, whichever way you feel like talking about them. But all of a sudden, Toya is saying something, and now you want to be like, oh yeah, I'm apologizing for everybody. How about you apologize for all of the things that you have said in the past? Now, you all know I talked about Toya and how I felt like there was no reason for you to be saying that publicly. You could have kept that in drafts. You could have spoken to your friends about it. Now, did she lie? No. But still, there's no point in you saying all of that. But I think Simone is the person that I feel like she really should be apologizing for, because how are you calling certain people mean girls when you don't even know them? That's more of an issue for me. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and turn on all your notifications if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the chat. Thank you. Bye.